worthwhile. Someone's moved stuff around, I think, a little. This ladder was actually across before. Someone's actually moved. Frank! Someone moved the ladder. So we come up, and each trip we've come up on this spot that was, looked like it, the first time we came out was freshly dug. It's marked by an old Ocotillo limb. And we've checked it, we metal detected it. There's no reason to purpose to dig it up because we also suspect there's a very, very good chance that it's someone's pet. Seems small for a human, seems like it could be a large dog. Could be someone brought their pet up there, it's a nice overlook. And, you know, I want to respect that, and anybody else that goes up, they should as well. By this point, it's grown over enough, it's probably not as noticeable. It was pretty fresh when we went up there. And I didn't, you know, we were hesitant because we were like, why would someone bury this? But they marked it. And it took us a while to work out, probably someone's pet, their pet dog or something. And so be it. Maybe it was an area they liked to be in. I kind of asked around a little about it in case it was someone we knew, and they could say, oh yeah, you know, but I don't know what it is, but I would respect that. We metal detected and looked over there. There was nothing made us suspicious that it would be anything other than possibly that. And unless there was any other piece of information of a missing person in that area or something like that, it wouldn't make any sense. It looked like just a nice spot to put like a favorite pet and a nice view overlooking into the canyon. Maybe it was a spot they like to go out and walk in. So I don't think it's solved, but I kind of think it's kind of put on the shelf for at least right now. Belt buckle?
That's mineralization. Remember, Frank is looking for his knife, which he lost last time because of him.
How did I lose your knife?
Think about it.
I'm thinking about it. You put it down and left it there and left. So we don't find anything metallic there. Let's see about this. What? Let's see. It's sitting, nothing. It should flatline anything I do up here at all. There's nothing.
Hey.
What?
No smoking. On film. It's illegal.
Yeah, it's flatlined nothing.
What is it?
Well, it would pick up magnetic polarization or something.
What are you
electricity.
using?
It's an EMF meter. But it's picking up nothing. It's not even wavering. It's staying 45, 46. So it's picking up nothing. And if I bring it over by the camera, it goes up. See? Did you see it?
No, you can't see it.
It's at 50. It's at 50, and then I bring it away from the camera, which has batteries, and it drops again. See? One of the things we wanted to look at, definitely out there, was, you know, there's been reports of a lot of people that do the paranormal word. Yeah, dirty word sometimes. And we took out EMF meters, and we wanted to check the EMF. So you'll hear me reference it to someone here and there in the footage, because I wanted to take the EMF readings to see, because sometimes that'll cause, the electromagnetic field can cause people to feel weird. It has nothing to do with the paranormal, but it can cause them to feel like maybe somebody's watching me, or I'm not comfortable here, and I wanted to see it. It should be a very, very low area on EMFs, which it was. The baselines never fluctuated whatsoever. But I wanted to constantly, no matter where I worked and what I did, I always wanted to check those and check just different things. I even checked, even brought a Geiger at one point and checked Geiger tests just to see, because there's always been that thing, and Salvador DeGrazia said it's extraterrestrial technology. Well, you know what, we can all laugh, but why not check and see if there's anything radioactive in the area, if there's anything, if down in, you get in the hole and anything that sparks up. So I wanted to do it, but that was another thing that was neutral, just there was nothing. So I always wanted to keep my kind of eye on it, to say I can be dismissive, I could say why bother, but do it, because the scientific process would be check every box in the book and see what comes out of this. Like 45. So one of the things that can make people weird out is, you know, magnetic polarization, something like that. And they talk about fear cages with electricity and stuff, but the same thing can happen naturally. And you kind of want to look at that as when people come up with these wild stories and they're in areas and they feel spooked, as if there's any change in certain things. So this is just a neat tool. It's not finding anything, ooh, spooky fingers. It's basically telling us if there's some anomaly in the magnetic field out here. And it can be a purely natural anomaly. And I just want to try it over here. Who knows, it could be radioactive for all we know. So, but someone buried something here. It doesn't pick up on the metal detector, and they marked the spot. I don't know what it would be. So that's a question answered only by shovels at this point. At a certain point, we get a halo effect around the cameras for a period of time. We do not know why this happened. It just decided to have a halo effect, and then later it just wasn't there. It could be a production, but we notice sometimes in certain times when we're doing things, just things happen. And we're not quite sure. We noted it, we looked at it, we were like, what happened? What could have caused this? We don't know why. I don't think we've had that problem or that effect any other time we filmed. So it was kind of an odd anomaly while we were there that we get back, and we didn't notice at first, and then later we realized, oh, there's this weird halo effect. Well worn, and there's no trail system that operates off of, so there's no idea where that comes out of. It comes out of the wash and comes out where that original entry point was. So Frank's trying to get there. I think he's a little peppy today. Excited. Here, when we were down there, when that trail comes around and winds and ends up in the wash, and then it would lead up to where this original opening was, for whatever purpose it served. So that's where he's going to be working himself to and down. We should be able to find it regardless, just going off of the trees. You notice there's not many trees up here, so we'll be able to kind of do that and kind of double check and look at things. And here you go. Okay. Here's something. You know what's interesting about this? They used it here, but it's so old it's rusted. No bullet holes. Anytime anybody's out here with a gun, they seem to pop holes in something, and it seems to be pretty good shape. Why maybe this is the toilet bucket. But I looking at the wire wrapped around it, I think it's going to be the same as on the workings over here. I think this was the original bucket they were pulling stuff out with. So it's very interesting. It's been here a long time, obviously. So long, yeah, it's dry. But this was the bucket they were extricating. I don't think we can tell what kind of bucket it is, can we? No. There's nothing. So, all right, let's kind of move up here, Frank. You notice the rock and debris that's coming out of here? See that bigger rock? It's still sharp angles and shapes. And you'll get a better view down in there from that side than this side. This side's kind of the slope and everything. It's probably just not worthwhile. Someone's moved stuff around, I think, a little. This ladder was actually across before. Someone's actually moved. Frank! Someone moved the ladder.
Yeah, well, guess what?
What?
They took my knife too.
See the sand?
Yeah.
So. It wasn't running across. All right, Trevor, you need to put the camera down and you need to go through that pack and find the parachute cord.
Parachute cord?
Yep.
All right.
Take the blue, we're going to take the blue cord.
Yeah.
I'm not going to explain the fact that the very thing I brought that was going to help us the most, night vision camera, I left in the truck. Frank started talking to the Pinal County Sheriff's Department, and I went over and talked to them, and I got distracted just like everybody else does, and I left the frickin' fully charged camera sitting in the truck miles away. So Trevor, get going. You can be back in about an hour and a half. One of the things that was a complete, just a boneheaded thing on my part, is I charged up, had a digital camcorder to set down in there that has night vision, that would use almost zero light, that we could get down in there and we would allow ourselves to get various really good looks down in there. And I unfortunately charged it up, made sure it was loaded, ready to go, put it in the console of the truck, and then when we loaded up and left for the spiral, that's where I left it. And that was really disappointing because that camera as well would have been another additional camera, because even when I go down in there, I want to have multi-cameras. I want to have actual audio, but I want to have multi-cameras and do multiple things. I want people to see things from different angles and have a better thing than just a first-person point of view of what's going on in there. I want to be able to show it, because there's really going to not be anyone else but then one single individual, most likely moi, down in that spot. We got Frank's light, so we can run one cord, Frank's light on one line, and we'll try to get it down in there, and then we can run a camera or something down on another cord, and we'll try to see if we can get a good visual shot.
The way you do this,
yeah,
there's a switch here.
Okay.
Now when you charge it, you can also charge your phone on this.
That's great, but
hit it twice. There you go. Tells you how much
yeah,
to charge.
Let's put it on the blue cord. We'll use this cord for the camera.
This camera?
Yes, that's the camera we sent down last time.
No, it's not. You sent down the other camera.
Okay, well, it's still, we're sending the camera down.
Oh, that scares me.
It's either that or my phone on a selfie stick.
That scares even more. Because I don't think you'd ever
Because we got to go get the phone, so I'd have, yeah, I have no choices. So to see what stability and what we have down in there this time, I cannot believe for the life of me that I frickin' left that frickin' camera sitting right there. What are you doing? You just poked me in the back for no apparent reason.
Okay.
Trevor, you need to take all the rope, go out over here. I think I'm better off trying to put it over. Well, last time I had to put it over out further. I'm gonna try. No, I need to drop it that way. This fucking wood is so shaky. I don't like that. How do I like that less than the other shit we did. More over, don't I?
I can't tell. I can't see it.
It's turned the wrong way.
What the fuck? Look how narrow it gets.
It's like a funnel, ain't it?
Lift it up, move it over.
I'm stuck by the ladder. I gotta
There
bring
you
it
go,
up.
go down.
No. I gotta go over one more. Because the ladder stops me from being able to move it over, Frank. So, I do this. There we go. Alright. Who told me to tie these knots in my fucking rope? Okay, Trevor.
Huh?
44 degrees. I bring it up. The camera goes up around 47, 48. Nothing here. Nothing here. It goes 42. So when it's over here, it could be the mineralization or something. Ironworks, but there's nothing. Yeah, no spooky. No hoodoo voodoo. And I don't get that feeling. I don't get that kind of odd feeling from the spot.
Yeah, no.
There should be a red dot on the screen.
Okay, there's a red dot on the screen.
Alright, and it's recording.
And it starts spinning again. I'm letting it sit and film for a minute. And I'm going to try to work it over and get it to go down by the right, okay?
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's picking up the audio of what I'm saying. It could, right?
It's picking it up very, very badly.
Do as much as I can before I pull it out. I almost need to drop it on that side. Yeah, I can stand on that personally. I can stand this way on that side. But because what's happening right here. Occasionally. Stop it occasionally. Try to get footage of where we're at. It's getting anything very good right now. Be cool if it was facing up though. Oh, it is kind of facing up now. No, it isn't. Yeah, but it'd be cool if it was filming me. Now somewhere in here, and I don't know if we'll be able to hear the audio, but somewhere in here is where I was pulling it up and I saw that triangle and that circle on the rock. So it's somewhere in here. Now the chances of me getting it from underneath, not knowing where I was, is very, very slim. Take up the slack. All right, come here, get that, so we can reset.
Idaho, you're just gonna step on the wood.
Well, I'm not. Okay, give me the camera.
I'm gonna get it to you.
Just go right here, right here. You're safe here. You're not going to fall in. Okay. I'm set and ready to go, right?
Yep, it's already. Did you hit record or?
No, I'm not hitting record yet.
I already hit record. Is there a red light on the corner?
Yeah, it is.
All right, it's already recorded because I was recording it down.
Hey, world. How's it going? Okay. All right, what I want to do is get to this spot. So I'm going to hold it like this. I'm going to go down over here. So I'll set this here. Okay. Yikes. Okay. The one problem I have over on this side is I got to navigate past this boulder. The second part is going to be I'm not going to be able to see the camera. Point here, you're going to take this, stand over this way. Okay, no, right there, right there, right there. Take up the slack. You got it. It's yours. Now, hold on. Now get back more behind me. You don't want it to slip. You want it to be straight this way. Go back further and lower, lower, lower. Lower. Okay. Even if you have to bend down, squat. Squat. Yes. Because you're the one going to be dropping it. Okay. Lower. Squat. Sit on the frickin' ground and keep the cord as low as possible. There. Okay. Now hold on to it. Keep the slack off of it. See, the problem is now I can't see the camera. So what I'm going to do now is move to the other side and then tell you where we're going. What yikes. Just keep it low. As long as you keep that, it's straight line still. Bring it down. You need to get it out of the bush. Crawl forward, get it off the bush. Okay, hold on. Stay where you're at. And I'll be the safety on this. Okay, there. Because you want an angle. You understand what I'm saying? Because you don't want it to trip over that top. Okay. Move towards me more. Slide over to that spot. Okay, you're good. Now, I'll get down in here. All right, start to lower. Keep going. Yeah, but one of the problems is you're getting towards a rock, and I need to get it some swing to get over the rock. Yeah, give me a slack. Okay, hold on. I gotta see. Let me have slack. There we go. This didn't work either. Slowly. Let me get it. Okay, forward. Up. Swing, and I can't get it to come out. I got it. Okay, slowly. Stop. You need to take up a bunch of slack here in a second. There.
So in addition to some of the other problems we have, and we always seem to have some technical issue or whatnot, something else, for some reason, while we're down in there, the screen suddenly goes white. And we were trying to understand when reviewing the footage what happened, because as we brought the camera up, we began to have a picture again. We felt it was overexposed, dropped it again. Everything seemed to go back to kind of fine, but when we went to pull it, it went white and overexposed again. The best explanation we can have is something on the settings. It touched something and changed the settings on the camera, and we didn't have that problem again. But it was curious that as we were filming there, just abruptly it's coming up out of there, and then it suddenly is way overexposed. And you don't even see a sense of anything. It's pure white. And then as we start to descend again, the picture starts to come back, but then it goes pure white again. So we're not quite sure what caused that. It could be a technical error on ourselves.
Okay, you have to hold there. Let me see what I can see. Now I'm on a ledge. See, the problem is the further out I get to get it in the right spot, then I end up hitting it on a ledge. There it is. I can't get it to go down because you got to take the slack when I'm pulling it up. Well, you just need to look at it whenever I'm... Possibly be chiseling with that. Where'd you find it, too?
This was,
Okay, so it was laying by the pit. Okay.
is by the pit.
Okay, so
And,
Trevor, you tell him when.
Oh, you just go whenever.
okay, this is a chisel point, and it's old. I can tell by the corrosion on it. And you can see, usually these things are long. This particular type, back when they were mining, they would use a star bit. and they make holes for blasting. This type chisel is used for breaking rocks apart and whatnot. So usually they're maybe that long. But as you can see on this one, it's bent over on the top. They were using it at this length. And this thing is old. This is like turn of the century. You can see how the metal's corroded. You can see up on here on the top. So this is not something recent. You can see how it's flaking off. So this could be, let's say you're up here in the 1930s. You could have this in your toolbox from before the 1900s, because this stuff.
Frank, but let me see it.
There.
How are you? What do you? I mean, just think. You're hitting that. How much room you have with your hand? How much they wore this down? There's no place to really.
Unless they were holding it with a pair of pliers.
But even then.
But all around that whole area, the only tailings that you find is some sand from when they dug that funnel-shaped entrance. So if you have this vertical shaft or horizontal shaft going to the staircase, you would have a ton of tailing, just like if you were digging a mine. So my theory was that that was dug from the inside out. I decided to just check around the immediate area with a metal detector just to see if anything popped up. And a rock splitting chisel. Now, if you ever watch like somebody digging at a marble mine or whatever, they use these little short chisels as wedges, and they pound those in, and then the rock breaks off. I found one of those, and it was an antique, and that thing was old. See, I'm good at dating shit like that. And it had to be 1900, 1910, whatever. It was about this long. I gave it to Wayne, but that was buried underneath that layer of tailings about 10 inches. But my detector picked that up right away. That was the only thing other than some tin cans and other garbage from people staying up there, laying around. That was
I've
it.
never seen anything this short, and these things don't break unless you have it real long and you're trying to pry on something and the metal snapped.
But the metal didn't snap because you can see where they kept hammering it. It's flanged out. That's just crazy. You can just see how worn down it is on every aspect of it.
But that thing is,
Good find. Good find.
But it's from when they originally dug this. It's not somebody that came along later.
It's from the early 1900s or late 1800s. It's when
The chisel is, but it could be still.
I don't think someone was using that chisel in 1960.
No, this is something that I suspect it was longer, and they were using it to pry, and then after it broke, then they were still using it to hammer with. Because there's no other reason for this to be bent over like that. That's from being hammered.
But other than that, we're not finding any old cast-off tools.
No,
we're not finding any coins. We're not finding anything. They kept this area clean.
And none of this rock, not only here, but down at the original entrance, has any mineralization in it.
No.
One or two of the rocks had a tiny bit of, like a little bit of hot rock, a little bit of iron in it.
Yeah.
But as far as this being a gold mine or a silver mine or a nothing.
Well, we're going to do our next stop. I want to get some more still photographs before we pull up and look at that other site. So I want to kind of finish this here, and then I'll get down. We'll kind of look down, then I can look for your knife down there, because whoever took your knife,
They took it. They picked it up.
they probably took it, but they could have knocked it off, or it could have fallen down. It could be down at the bottom. We might see it on the video later.
This is fucking big. It's a small knife.
What color was it?
It's brown.
Brown?
It's similar to. Oh, this is weird.
Could be in...
Smaller than this, but it looked like that.
Okay.
This stuff was
We'll go
brown,
there in a second.
but it was only like that big.
So probably one of the most interesting moments we have up there, because we found so little. I found a couple pottery shards, never found any other artifacts. There was a little trash that had been up there from the last digs from about 10, 15 years ago. There was literally nothing, and then Frank is able to find that chisel, which comes from sometime in the late 1800s and is very wore down. That was exceptionally cool, because it was the first thing that be something, not even mining operation, but something somebody was utilizing and working. What means, reason it was there, we can guess 100 different guesses for. The fact that it was wore down like it was, and it was such an old tool, it takes us back. Now, that tool could have been used there in 1900, could have been used in 1950, could have been used in 1990, and it could have been used in 2000. Who knows where it came from and how wore down and over time it was. But the fact that there wasn't much left of it means it had been well worn and been well used by someone. And there's just absolutely anybody who still survives that worked down there could make a claim to it. But the fact that it was underground, buried there, and all kind of tells us it had been there for a while, because usually stuff comes to the surface, is always there. Why it was buried that close to the edge and why it was there was kind of unusual, but it was the only thing Frank found. There was no beer bottle caps. There was nothing else. So that kind of makes it kind of very unique unto itself at the site.
The only thing I could think of that you would use something like that for was digging on that staircase. Other than that, it doesn't have a use. There's nothing you... That funnel-shaped tunnel that hits the shaft, there's no reason you would use a chisel that size. None. Even if you were going to carve something, it's not that type of chisel. It's for busting pieces of solid rock apart. Like you would drill a hole, pound that chisel in, and the rock would fracture. And so that was a very interesting find. And if you're looking at a treasure site, if you take a detector and go over the site, you'll find artifacts. Like when I was looking for the lost gold bars up in Dents Run, Pennsylvania, I'm going through the area, and this area was so remote that you wouldn't even find a pull tab. The pull tabs are everywhere. Billions of them. You find them everywhere. The pull tab was invented by the Iron City Beer Company, that and the twist-off cap. Since then, these pull tabs are everywhere. But like up in that area, when I'm searching, I would find stuff from when they logged. They logged that area, and they had these little train tracks. They're like a small scale, and they would use these little spikes like you use in a mine. And you would find those. Or one time I found part of a ox shoe. You know that stuff is from the logging days, and it's not that corroded. But if you find something up there that had more age on it, it was from an earlier period. Just like I was following the historical trail, and I found a spot where they had this, they call it the ambush site, and I found the end of a ramrod and a wedge that would be used to hold the barrel onto the stock, and I found a trigger guard. And you could tell by the corrosion on those that was from about 1860, 1865, in that area, which happens to be when that particular incident happened. So when you find something like that, you know you're in the right spot. Now you might have to search in an area like that off and on for months before you find something. Just like if you go back into these mountains and you're looking for mining activity from when Jacob Waltz was mining, you would be looking for something that's aged enough, especially out here. This is a dry climate and it's rocky, so stuff's not going to be deep and it's not going to be that corroded, but you can still age tools.